Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we are going to talk about not getting ripped off by the U.S. Postal Service. I've talked a lot about how I do not like to repair other people's petrol lighters anymore. There's just too much anxiety in the whole process for me associated with getting the lighter, getting it back to the customer or the person I'm doing a favor for, basically. I've never charged anybody a penny. I've had several people who did me a favor in return. But one thing I'm an absolute pushover for is somebody asking me for a spare part that I just have sitting around and am not using. I can't tell you how many times over the last 4 or 5 years, and especially over the last year and a half that I've been in my current location, that I get a message from someone on eBay or the direct messages on the dependableflame.com Facebook page. Sometimes it is email. Other times it may be the comments of a YouTube video. But I get comments or questions nearly every day, somebody asking me where is the best place to get this particular spare part. If I have that part sitting there, then I'm very likely to at least offer to send it to them. They don't always get back to me, but there are several people. There may be several who can comment on this video. I can think of a couple right now who have their own YouTube channels that I have sent spare parts to. But to me, it's just something I do. It's not really anything. If I've got a lighter sitting over there that needs other work, well, what really is it to me to come up with another spring? That project may have been months down the line anyway. So it may hurt some of my projects, but I hope that it has helped in goodwill in the long run. And my philosophy of that is, a lot of people don't have a ton of lighter parts sitting around. That may be the only lighter that they have, that lighter that they inherited from their grandfather, or the one that their father gave them when they graduated. Whatever it happens to be, that may be the only lighter that they have. They're not necessarily looking to develop a whole workshop full of spare parts and tools to repair cigarette lighters. They just want that one screw. So I usually will part with those spare parts. I usually will go ahead and put them in a bubble mailer and send them on their way. But when I went to do that one day last week, many of you who sell lighters, other than just printing your postage on eBay, may also have an account on USPS.com. Now, they have undertaken certain automation procedures in recent years that make a lot of these things easier, to where when we print a label, you go drop it off. They're not going to send it back to you the next day if it's short on postage. They're going to send it on, deliver it to the customer, and charge you, the one who mailed it. That's the way it should be. That's the way it's supposed to work. But I had mailed this package back on the 2nd of March to the Zippo Repair Clinic. I had videoed the entire process of these empty cases going into bubble sleeves, Ziploc bags, and being boxed up. The entire package did not weigh over 7 ounces, and they were trying to charge me $10 extra for a package that originally only cost me $5 and I think it was 30 cents to mail. Now, at first I thought maybe they were assessing a surcharge because they were trying to say it should have gone ground or parcel post, whatever they're calling it nowadays, because it was dangerous, because it was a lighter. But that was not the issue. They had it at 2.5 or so pounds, and I knew that that had to be an automation error. Got on the phone, talked to somebody, got put through to the wrong person, then was notified by email later that I needed to dispute this through the Verify Postage There was also a button that indicated you could use it to dispute the charge. When I clicked that, though, it never went through. I can't remember. I think I was recording that here on my MacBook and did not screen capture that video. I'll try to do that next time. I went back and captured as much video and photos of all of this as I could, hoping that I can explain this as well as possible. But what really irritated me was when I tried to dispute it through their online automatic methods where I wouldn't have to talk to anyone, it did not work. I ended up talking to a woman on the phone who was very nice and very helpful, but it was very difficult, her trying to direct me to figure out all the information that she needed to get to the transaction and figure out how to dispute the charge that had been put on my account. This could have been a much easier process than me sitting on the phone, waiting, listening to automated messages, then waiting again for emails in response when it all would have been fine if the dispute button would have worked in the first place. So just to reset, I had tried to use the button that would allow me to dispute this on the website. Then I called a number which seemed helpful, but later got an email telling me that that was the wrong department. I needed to talk to the APV help desk. When I did get on the phone with the lady at the APV help desk, she was very helpful. She did get around, got all my information. Like I said, some of it was, there might have been a frantic moment or two as I didn't seem to be able to find the information she was asking for. But with her patience, we got through it. She told me that she had all the information that she needed and that I would receive a response via email within 3 to 5 business days. I have not, as of yet, received that email, but I did notice this morning that my account shows that that dispute has been approved and the postage due charge removed from my account. So while it was difficult for me to get them to remove this, it was not as easy as it should have been, just pressing a button telling them, hey, you need to go check out your automated cameras. And here's the actual information from the email where you can file that dispute. Once I got on the phone with somebody, explained the situation, then it was no big deal and they dealt with it as they should. I just want to make you guys aware of it because if you mail a lot of lighters, then this is something that is likely to happen at some point or another. And there's no reason to let the Postal Service charge you excess just because they want to use automated equipment to make it easier to assess these kind of postage due charges. They deserve every penny that you're paying them for what you're mailing. I assure you of that. But there's no reason to be paying them more than they should have charged you in the first place. That goes for any other thing that you're mailing as well. All of you online sellers, it's not just lighter dealers or lighter collectors, but anybody who buys and sells online and uses USPS.com or any of the other online or electronic postage options, you need to be aware that these are charges that, as happened on this one, it was mailed on the 2nd, it was delivered on the 4th, and the postage due was assessed on my account on the 8th. That's another question mark to me. If you're going to charge me postage due, you should have at least been aware of it before the package was delivered. Anyway, I just want to make everybody aware the Postal Service cleared this up, simple enough, but it may be something that you're going to have to deal with because that dispute button that shows up on the browser when you do it from a desktop computer isn't going to work, and none of the options that I had show up on my laptop worked either, other than emailing them, which would have required me finding information that, to be honest, I tried to find and could not find on the original receipts that I had printed out from the transaction. It just doesn't seem right to me for them to be charging people excess for a mistake that a machine makes. Until next time.